All right. Good evening, grade 8s. Hopefully this works. I am going to try this screen capture for the first time. So tonight's lesson, we're going to get on our Pearson account. And it's dealing with lesson 3.3, multiplying fractions. So we are going to go and take a look at a question here. Look at this question right here under my cursor. It says, what is 4/7 times 2/5? Well, they give you the answer right there, right? 8/35 seems easy enough. Just multiply the top two numbers, get your 8, and your bottom two numbers get your 35. But have you ever stopped to think about it for a second and say, well, why is it 8/35? Why is 4/7 times 2/5 8/35? Well, take a look over here at this handy dandy little drawing over here. So if you notice, we've learned in the previous lesson how to draw out a rectangle to solve this question. And if you remember, I said take the two denominators, and that's how big your rectangle must be. So in this case, it's 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's how they came up with this size of a rectangle, right? So that's nothing new to you. Now, here's the confusing part. They say multiply 4/7 by 2/5. So if we go over to the fifth side, and that's this top line because it's divided by 5 equal parts, well, we only want 2 parts of it. So we just worry about the first 2 and we shade in those 2. Now, what they did in this drawing is they shaded in those 2 columns all the way down. But remember, we don't want to worry about them all the way down. We only want to deal with 4/7 of it. So we go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And inside there, you can see all that shaded in part. That's our answer. Well, let's take a look. How much is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hence, 8 over, well, how many squares do we have? 5 by 7. And we know 5 times 7 is 35. So there you go. That's a little understanding of why 4/7 times 2/5 is actually 8/35. That's what I like about this math makes sense is that it makes you think, right? It's not just me telling you multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and there's your answer. You can actually, hopefully, kind of explain it. So let's take a look at the next question right here. 7/5 times 8/3. So I'm going to ask everybody to pause the video for a second and try it on your own. See if you can come up with an answer. Alrighty, grade 8. So let's see what your answer is compared to the actual answer. So take a look at this. 7/5 times 8/3. You know the funny thing about these fractions is they're actually called improper fractions. And the reason is the numerator, the number on top, is actually bigger than the number on the bottom, in this case, the denominator. So 7 is bigger than 5, 8 is bigger than 3, so we call this improper fractions. So let's take a look at what your actual answer is. So if we use the rule, multiply your numerators together, so 7 times 8, if you remember, is 56, and 5 times 3 is 15. So your answer should be 56/15, or 56 over 15. If you take a look. Now they do something here. I want to draw your attention to this. So here's our 56/15, and some of you might just leave your answer as that. But take a look. The textbook here actually says, well, hey, quick question. Can we change this to this mixed numeral here? And that's a grade 8 step. So what we have to do is we have to figure out how many times does this 15 go into 56 without going over. So I count by 15, 15, 30, 45. Well, I know it goes in 3 times, and I'm at 45. How much do I have left over? 11. So 3 and 11/15 would be my answer. So right off the bat, if you get 56/15, I'm happy with that. And then eventually we'll get you to change it to a mixed numeral here where it's 3 and 11/5. Now, the other thing I want you to think about, and I might ask you to do this in class, is estimate. Well, take a look. This is a pretty cool visual down here. See this number line right here? It's 0, 1, 2, 3. Well, what the textbook does here is they say, well, let's estimate. So where exactly is 7/5 on a number line? Well, take a look. If you ate 7/5 of a pizza, you would eat a whole pizza and just a little bit. You see that? Now, if you were to eat 8/3 of a pizza, well, that's a little more pizza because 3 goes into 8 twice with 2/3. So you almost ate close to 3 whole pizzas. Almost, not quite, almost. So if we were to estimate, we'd say 7/5 is closer to 1, and 8/3 is closer to 3, and 3 times 1 is 3. And the answer we came up with is 3 and 11/15. So it's close. It's reasonable. It's not. It doesn't have to be exactly accurate when you're estimating. You're just asking, is it reasonable? If our answer here would have been like 99, and our answer we figured out here was 3 and 11/15, then we say, no, our answer isn't reasonable. But in this case, we're only 11/15 off. So I'd say that's a pretty reasonable answer. All right, grade 8s. Let's take a look at another example here. In this case, let's read the question. It says 3/8 of the animals in the pet store are fish. Any of you guys have fish right now? 2/15 of the fish are tropical fish. Finding Nemo. What fraction of the animals in the pet store are tropical fish? Use benchmarks to check the solution to see if your answer is reasonable. Okay, that's a lot of words there. So let's break it down. Let's figure out what are our fractions we're dealing with here. Well, 3/8 of the animals in a pet store, or 3/8 of the animals in the pet store are fish. So right now I need to write down 3/8, and then we're saying 2/15 of those fish are tropical. So what we're really asking is, what is 2/15 of 3/8? Now, if you remember, I'll grab my pen over here. I'm trying something new. We'll see if this works. So basically what we're saying is we want to know what 2/15 of 3/8 is, right? Because we want to know 3/8 of the store's fish, 2/15 of those 3/8 is that. So we're asking, what's 2/15 of 3/8? Now remember, we learned that we can replace the word of in our previous lesson with multiplication sign. Okay, so let's go back and take a look down here at the answer they've written for us here. So here it is over here. 2/15 times 3/8. Well, 2 times 3 is, on top, 6. And 15 times 8, well, 8 goes into 10, 80. 8 times 5 is 40. So 80 plus 40 is 120. So your answer is 6/120. That's fine if you get that answer, but now we're going to challenge you here in grade 8. So we want to see if we can simplify this answer. So you look at these two numbers, 6, 120, and you say to yourself, do they have any common factors? Is there any numbers that go into 6 as well as 20? Well, I know they're both even, so the number 2 would work. It might take me a few steps to get in that. So 2 might work, 3 might work, and you know what else might work? 6. So how many times does 6 go into 6? Once. And how many times does 6 go into 120? 20 times. So our answer is 1/20. So 1/20 of the store in the entire pet store is tropical fish. Interesting. Think about it this way. If you ate 1/20 of a pizza, did you eat very much pizza? No, you barely ate anything, right? Well, let's check our estimate here. So we can draw another number line. In this case, you'll see the number line is broken into 0, a half, and 1. So they're saying 2/15. Well, if you draw 2/15 on your number line, it's going to be pretty close to 0. Think about it, 2/15 of a pizza. If you ate 2/15, you barely ate anything, so you're close to 0. Now, if you ate 3/8, well, half of 8 is 4, so 3/8 is just before a half, right? So now